Hello, welcome back to Wonders of the Force, the Star Wars podcast. My name is Phil, of course, and I'm joined as usual by Dave and Abston. For actually once, George is actually on holiday, so he actually has a legitimate excuse, although we're not going to give him that credit, we're just going to blame him. So, George, how dare you've abandoned us on what is actually quite a busy week. But yes, Dave, you ready to chat quite a bit of Star Wars this evening?
Yeah, for what I thought was going to be a very exceptionally quiet week, fortnight since we've been on last. It's in the last it's really ramped up in the last few days, even tonight, with news coming out before we kind of come online, which is good that we have something new to talk about that's just happened. So let's crack on.
Yeah, indeed. I agree. I thought it was going to be quite a quick one. I did the schedule today where, this to add, this to add, this to no, this is getting quite extensive. But yes, we might as well jump into actually the breaking news because it's something that I'm quite excited about. George and I had a little off-camera argument about this. I'll tell you about that later. But we've had the first kind of promotional stills, I suppose you'd call it, for the new Resistance show released. They're kind of like Dave.
Sorry, no, carry on.
Yes, so they're kind of an anime style, which when we had the original press release from Lucasfilm and from Dave Filoni, he did say that it was going to have some of these ties, and of course, if you know his work from Avatar: The Last Airbender, you know that is part of his background. It's not a full anime style, I must admit. It is more of the traditional American 2D take on the anime style. So it's kind of a hybrid between the two. However, it does look quite interesting.
It was amazing that it dropped sort of not an official thing. It looks like it's some kind of talk. I don't know whether that's inside of Lucasfilm that's most in the picture, or it's at maybe a university talk, something like that, some animation talk somewhere, and someone's managed to grab a still, because it's literally sort of two side-by-side pieces. I'll get them on the website as soon as we finish the Facebook page and the Instagram once we finish today. But it's a picture of both the Rebels and also the First Order. Phasma's the main character. It's nice that you don't see Kylo Ren's not on there. So obviously it's going to be Phasma is front and center. So I'm thinking this is going to be very much because she's going to be the big bad of the show. Is what I'm taking from that.
This will give her some credit. I won't hate her so much.
Let's hope. And then the Resistance have Poe Dameron's in the background. You can see him, but there is a young Ezra-looking guy. I guess is the best way I can kind of describe him. Ezra as we left him. That all the team sort of look to him, and he's sort of front and center of the First Order, the Resistance picture. So I'm guessing he's probably going to be our main character. But I'm guessing that we're going to fight now. That's out.
Indeed, you also have this brand new. I mean, we saw it when they released the Resistance press junket. You saw it in the logo with this new yellow ship. That's in there. It's more of you got a more dynamic look at it now. It's very interesting looking. I'm not going to say too much more on that purely because we don't see the whole picture. It's a very low resolution picture anyway that we've seen, so we can't speculate too much. However, yes, there's a new with the First Order. You've actually got not only Phasma, you do actually have the Praetorian Guard in there as well, which may or may not lead to Snoke. You don't know. That'd be quite interesting to see, like a major end of series villain. You could have Andy Serkis come and reprise his role as Snoke. That'd be quite cool. But either way, yeah, you've got First Order there, but also you've got this new band of heroes for Resistance with cameos from some people. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. But as I said, it was just this little. I think it's from Twitter or Instagram. Somewhere George picked it up, but it's something that's been just announced. We've only just got our hands on it, hence why we can only give you this limited information. But we can almost guarantee you from either SDCC or somewhere down the line very soon you'll have an announcement. But we'll get more onto SDCC later, because also another bit I didn't include. In fact, actually, we might as well go on to the SDCC news I haven't included, which was the Clone Wars panel, something we didn't get to talk about last time because it came about within our 2-week break. However, it's something that we've been discussing at length.
It's great that it's the celebration of the Clone Wars 10 years. It's crazy that it's already 10 years since that started airing. To me, it doesn't feel big enough for San Diego Comic-Con. You know what I mean?
Not unless. That's the thing. This is the thing we've been discussing on camera.
If it's alone, then it doesn't feel big enough for San Diego Comic-Con. If they're then going to say, oh, and by the way, here's our new cast of our new show.
No, I reckon it'll be, here's either the last 6 episodes or a 1.5 hour TV movie to complete the series. I mean, it's the 10th anniversary with that you can see, though, with the success of Rebels, that Lucasfilm would be more than happy probably to pump it out because they know the Clone Wars was such a hit. Of course, Dave Filoni always wants to finish his story off, so
yeah, it would be absolutely amazing to get that. And I think there's got to be some kind of announcement. As I say, it's not big enough to have a whole age big talk just about 10 years of Clone Wars. It seems like there's something else behind it.
Yeah, it does seem to have an alter ego and an alter ego, so an alternative motive, ulterior motive for being there. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, it's something that we're excited about, something that we both, well, all three of us adore. It was a show that was on air for a long time. It's something that it's been 10 years since it was off. I mean, I remember going to see the movie when it first came out and things. So it's interesting to see what they will release with it. And then, yes, we might as well break into our regular news. Now we've got the breaking news out of the way. Ahmed Best. This was something that we'll start on a down note and work our way up to the lighter stuff because, it's something that has to be addressed here. Ahmed Best, for those of you who are unaware, if you don't really know the name behind the character, played the live-action side of Jar Jar Binks. He played the guy in the mocap suit and did the voice. Jar Jar Binks, how best to put it, is a polarizing character at best. He's, whether you like him or not, he's aged not well. It's one of those characters that between the fan base is very polarizing. Over the years, I've come to accept him as he's not the worst character in Star Wars. Phasma has now taken that place. And for me, will always take that place. I cannot stand Phasma. But the hate then was instead of being directed at Kathleen Kennedy and being directed at X, Y, and Z fan now, was directed at Ahmed Best and his portrayal of Jar Jar Binks, and he's opened up quite recently about
that. In what was it? Our not maybe last show, but the show before, where we were talking about Kelly Marie Tran, and we said how fandom was just this ball of ugliness at the moment in certain sectors of that. This is reared its head, and now everyone knew that Ahmed had gone through tough times with after the backlash of Jar Jar. But it's never been out anywhere. This was a shock to me when I heard that he'd actually got to the point of actual feeling suicidal behind it, and that is absolutely insane. That people can make you feel that way about the character you portray in a film.
We agree. I mean, even we've had Chris James even comment saying this was just another sad brick in the wall of Bleep with Star Wars recently, and agreed. It was just seeing the hate that had been chucked at, seeing the human side of it. We may not like the character, but there was a human portraying it, and that's what people tend to forget.
It's crazy that, and this was, you look at 1999. Thank goodness this wasn't in the age of the internet we have now, because who knows if this would have been a very different story if it had been. It's just, I can't even imagine. I mean, 1999, I was 20 when I saw Phantom Menace, and while Jar Jar didn't appeal to me because, I wasn't a child, so it wasn't expected to, and I didn't like him, but I was never one of those vocal people.
Yeah, I was 8 in 1939, so when it came out, I was young enough to laugh at Jar Jar. I love the jokes. I appreciate it. So he does have a certain soft spot for me, but that's because I was a child. I was the right age at the right time for Jar Jar.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, as you're saying yourself there, David, it was the old generation strand that's kind of threw the toys out the pram. It's just,
as I say, the major thing is if that had been this day and age of the internet where Twitter is around and social media where people can hide behind and send these things out again, it's just back to this awful ball of fandom that is ripping its way through Star Wars at the minute, and it's absolutely disgusting. I hate this side of the fandom. Now, I will never ever tell someone they can't have their own opinion on something. Not at all. Your opinion is your opinion. Have it. Absolutely believe in it, 100%. But to throw out insults and aim things at people which lead them to feeling that they haven't got anything left in life but to throw themselves off a bridge because people talk about them, I just can't get over that side of it. The haunts me. It's scary, and I don't like it. And it was the most shocking news I've come out. I mean, Jake Lloyd, we've seen, he suffered it as well. Now he is maybe a different case where that is probably something a bit more than just that. He's obviously being looked after, but again, it's all this backlash.
Look at how long it's taken Hayden Christensen to come back to the light. Look how long it's taken for the fans to accept him. It is very sad, and it's the minority that ruins it for everyone else. I mean, going back to your point about the differing opinions, when episode 8 came out, George loved it. You vehemently were the opposite, and I was slap bang in the middle. And we all sat down and had our discussion and had our opinions. We didn't hate each other for our opinions. We just had differing opinions. And it's something that I hit on a few episodes back, again, talking to my friend Robin, who you've seen on the show before. We were lucky enough to grow up talking about new Star Wars films coming up, and we're here doing it again. And to have these discussions is part of what makes this fandom so great. And to see narrow-minded people do this, I mean, I hate to throw it at the blame at just purely to the older generation, but a lot of the people around just the original trilogy have panned a lot of what's come out since, and it's sad to see that.
I would say it's absolutely my generation, definitely. I would have thought, because I just missed, I was born 79, so I missed sort of Star Wars, but it's that generation who went in to see Phantom Menace and went in to didn't know what to expect. It was brand new Star Wars, and just had this vehement hate of what they'd seen. And as I say, they got out there and made their voices heard. And I think, thank goodness again. I know I keep reading the point. I'm just so glad we're in the age we were then. Well, phones didn't even connect it very well.
Well, phones, if you were lucky to have a mobile phone at that point, they were so expensive. But more to the point, that generation had grown up, and Star Wars primarily was at that point a kids' film. It still is a kids' film. You go and see, Rogue One is probably the darkest in terms of the battle scenes. Revenge of the Sith, probably darkest in terms of some of the more of the story, and Anakin's fall in that, and especially killing younglings. But primarily, Star Wars is a fun film aimed at a younger audience. I mean, people our age, I mean, as I'm 27, I mean, I'm not that young anymore, and people are actually to remember that. I mean, I know you're older than myself, Dave, but even George being the youngest, again, we're not kids, but we recognise that part of it is for them. I mean, Jar Jar was aimed purely for kids. George said that. When he made it, George Lucas said, Jar Jar was for the kids. And you know what? I have three younger cousins, two of them who had seen Star Wars very recently. I was chatting to them before they saw Rogue One, and their favourite character was Jar Jar Binks. And guess what? They were 8 and 12, I think, at the time. And that just proves the point entirely. We here at Wonders of the Force, we love Star Wars. We genuinely love Star Wars. We met at Celebration, as you all know, in a queue, and we spent 3 days straight chatting Star Wars, and we didn't get bored. We now do this not because someone pays us, because we love it. I mean, no one could watch the show, we'd still do it. I mean, don't get me wrong, we love all of you that watch it. Thank you, even for Chris James for this evening, for commenting. I know friends of mine who watch the show, and we thank you all, but we will not throw hate. We will have our discussions with you. We don't like it, but we will not take someone down for it. And Ahmed Best, for the 20th anniversary of episode 1 next year, has hinted about doing a one-man show. And you know what? I would go and see it if it came over here.
It's a really interesting subject that he's going to talk about. And I think him building stories based around, one, I'm guessing it'll be part of it will be, yes, I was this character and I did this and this is how I did the film. And then there'll be a whole other section on the backlash that he was then received. I'm guessing it's going to be articles and things like that and stories written. And then I guess he'll go down the whole route of what his tale is after that. And that, I think, will be very, very interesting. And I think, Ryan Johnson retweeted Ahmed Best and he'd said on his tweet something like, I'd be really interested in hearing your story as well. And I think a lot of people who are getting a lot of backlash for the movies now, in the Disney era, would quite welcome this, because I think it is...
Kelly Marie Tran, especially, I think, is going to be, unfortunately, that new direction of hate. I don't want to see that.
I can't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand people who don't enjoy a film But to go out and you don't see it I don't see it anywhere for other franchises that badly that attacks.
No, it's unfortunately genuinely a celebrity thing where people just get really weirdly riled up about it for some reason I don't understand. But to see it happening in Star Wars is something that we don't want to see. We genuinely want to see it.
Why would anyone want to do a Star Wars movie when that could be the level of hate? You know, it was Chris McQuarrie this week. I don't know if you saw on Twitter. Someone had pointed out, I can't remember why I got onto him. I think Ryan Johnson mentioned something to Chris McQuarrie, and loads of people had then got onto him. He's the director of... So escaping, I'm not going to get back to it in my head what Chris McQuarrie directed. I can't, but he directed a movie. And yeah, anyway, but he said it in his tweet. He would love to have one day directed a Star Wars film, not after tonight. And literally, that was just people getting on him at Twitter, and it's just, it boils my blood. It really does. It's so hurtful for the franchise. It's so hurtful for the saga that's built. It's so hurtful for this carrying on the way we want it to. We're in a point now where we're getting a lot of Star Wars. And we've discussed this on the show before. Have we hit the point where it's maybe a little bit too much Star Wars? And you know what? My thoughts at the minute are get Episode 9 out. What was on television for a bit? Drop the movies for a while. Not that I want that to happen. I lived in a time when between Jedi and waiting them for 99, no Star Wars. I'd love having Star Wars every year, every 2 years, and gonna love having a TV show again to talk about animated and a live action to chat about with these guys and you who are watching and listening. But it makes me feel that the amount of and level of dissatisfaction and just poison that gets thrown at it, that maybe it's time for the people. You know what? This is what you were like when we've given you a load of Star Wars. We'll take Star Wars away from you again for a bit. See how that fails, and that's awful because the real fans who are out there who want this and
you will not like that.
It really is a passion thing for me. This Star Wars is my thing, and it hurts that it's the way it's.
Well, I grew up in the gap between 3 and 7. I mean, 10 years without Star Wars. Then yes, we had the animated show, and I saw the movie, but there was no new films. There was no new canon. The books were all over the shop. The comics were all over the shop. So to have this level of new Star Wars, that everything's organized, everything's how it should be, is great. And the minority are ruining it for everyone. And it's not just in this; it's everything in the world. But to see it poison Star Wars, to poison the very thing that we use to escape our lives, is not what we want.
And P.S. I watched The Last Jedi again last night. It's awesome.
I actually watched it the other day with Ryan Johnson's commentary, and it's
yes. After we'd mentioned it, that's what I've just done. I actually I didn't have the version with the commentary on, so I bought that and watched the commentary. It's really interesting as well. I'm going to watch the documentary again tonight. The director and the Jedi.
Yeah.
But So I mean, that's what I really disliked Last Jedi when I first came out of it.
Oh, the more I watch it, the more I love it. Especially now, Luke's sacrifice at the end. Like, the more you watch it, the more you understand, the more it goes, okay, you may have screwed his character at the beginning, by the end of it, my God, have you redeemed him? It's so cleverly done that even I'm going, you know what? Yeah, loved it. Absolutely love it. But anyway, we do have a lot of news to get through, so we will leave you on this note with Ahmed Best. Ahmed Best, well done for coming out and saying this. We have the utmost respect for you. And here at Ones of the Force, we will not chuck hate because that's just not who we are. We will move on. Next bit of news, more animated news, a lot of animated news tonight. Vanessa Marshall is attending MCM Manchester later this year, and I really hope she goes to London in October because I can't go to Manchester, but I can go to October London. And now that Rebels has ended, of course, when I met Taylor Gray, who plays Ezra earlier in the year, I want to try and get everyone on my Rebels. If I can, it's good to see them coming over now.
It is, and I think now the show's finished, I think that makes it a lot easier, especially for a lot of these voice actors who can get over to conventions now. And the fact that they're getting, more and more of them are coming, and they're doing bigger signings, bigger shows. And we have a lot of shows around the UK now, and they're starting to get quite a lot of them are getting bigger and bigger, especially the London, the Manchester ones are massive. So I think the level of guest. It's always been okay, but I think it can get better and better with these shows. I think they're gonna eventually just have a Comic-Con over here as well, where they get an official Comic-Con, I think, and that's what we really need to get some of the really big names. But it's awesome that Vanessa Marshall's coming over to Manchester. It's just a shame it is. I believe it's the same week as, is it London Comic-Con's on the same week?
Yes, but you can make it.
Absolutely. It is only, 3 hours for me, but I could still get there.
You can do that, no problem.
But yeah, so it's a really interesting time, and it's nice to be able to go meet some of these people who are behind some of the stuff you really enjoy.
Indeed. At the end, more news on Rebels. Season 4 comes out on DVD and Blu-ray on July 31st. I already have mine pre-ordered because I love the show, and I do have 1, 2, and 3, so there's no point me waiting for the box set because there's just no point. I'll get 4. I know that George is waiting, but I'm kind of hoping there isn't a box set. I kind of want him to be disappointed just because I can, but you never know. However, though, that's just, again, release date, 31st of July. But more Rebels news. We have the Season 3 pictures are now up on Authentics for not killing yourself prices. We've had a rant before on Ones and Fours, we'll have it again, but at least the animated prices aren't too bad. It's the live action films and their actors that can get quite pricey. Yeah,
it's nice, the Authentics picks. I mean, gone are the days where you can get them fairly cheaply. I mean, I've gone through Authentics picks. I've got 4. I got Mark Hamill through Authentic Picks. I got Christopher Lee as well. Anthony Daniels. I got all through Authentic Picks, and I didn't pay a lot for those at all. I think the most expensive was actually Christopher Lee at the time for his, and his is nice. It's actually personalised, which is odd. But yeah, so Authentic Picks do a great job. You get really good stills. You get an actual authentic signatures. You're not gonna get one thing. Is it? Maybe it's not. They are definitely them.
Yeah, you're not getting screwed there. It's the same. I think it's the same company that Topps use to do their cards.
They are indeed. It's a really, really good company. They do really good work. They get a lot of people in. I think they've got Tia Sakar signing in there as well, and I don't know who else is actually in there. Is it Sam Whit? I want to say Sam Whit was in there.
Sam Whit was in there. I might have to get one of Sam Whit. I might wait for Tia Sakar to see if I can get her on my Blu-ray. At some point because by Season 3 I've already signed by Taylor Gray. I want to try and get the entire Rebels. We'll try a Ghost crew on there if I can.
That'd be cool.
But we should wait and see on that one. But yes, I might get Sam Whitworth just because Whitworth is awesome. Genuinely awesome. Again, more news. We've got some fake news regarding the spin-off films. Both being shelved and then not shelved, and then the Obi-Wan film potentially being released on the Disney streaming service. It's been a very messy few weeks thanks to Solo, which we've said enough on that about the marketing and the release timing, all the rest of it. In fact, I just had a chat with a friend of mine the other day, and he was saying how it flopped. Well, if you take into this account, and this account, yeah, you're kind of completely right as things we discussed on this show. But yes, so we've had a few rumors here and there. I mean, I don't really know much truth behind it.
It is that the big one. I think was that Kenobi would be out on the streaming service rather than released in cinemas, and that was just a reaction to Solo, and that seems insane because as much as people didn't ask for a Solo movie,
they've been crying out for a Kenobi movie.
Yeah, so that just would be idiotic. I
personally think they probably would do like a 2-week run in the cinema first and then release it on the stream as well as the cinema. They give it a couple of weeks.
We know that Jon Favreau's TV show is going to be part of the live stream launch. That's going to be there, which is a big thing to have.
Yeah, it would make no sense to film alongside that.
So, I mean, maybe some lesser films on there. I just don't see them going with a Kenobi movie.
The entire saga so far.
But yeah, they can drop that. They'll have that as well. But I'm just thinking, future movies, they could maybe do a smaller budget movie, like almost like a little independent movie with you have this character, or go do something in the Star Wars universe. But there's go to do a movie for $5 million and bring it to us. And little independent films could be really good made in the Star Wars universe.
Well, even George Lucas once said that Star Wars was the biggest low-budget movie ever made.
There is that side of it, yes.
Well, it cost $13 million at the time, and look what they do with $300 million these days.
Yeah. Can't make spaceship and CG for that.
Oh god, I don't get started on that one. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think it should debut on that. I definitely think if they're going to release it alongside it, wait a month or two or something like that. But either way, I don't see much credibility to that. But as much as Solo has been painful, if they let Solo cancel Kenobi, they'll never hear the end of it.
I don't say it. I do think they will look at how they release the movie in the future. I think that is certainly something that they've known that it's not been quite right. The run up and the release, it should have. I think definitely they should have pulled it back to December and had a clean run, full trailers, a full build up.
Do it properly,
give more time with it. I think that it's just that was probably the main thing that I think could have changed. I don't work for Disney. I don't run a successful film company, so what am I to know? But in my own opinion, I think that was the main thing that needed to happen with Solo, just to hold it back, don't push it out. We've just had Last Jedi. We've still got a bit of backlash off that. Let it die down a bit more. Build up Solo, make it look even better, really entice the fans into it. It didn't happen. It came out a bit too quick, I think. Not that I love Solo as well. I think it's a great movie. I can't wait to see that again when it's available. But yeah, I think it was just out a bit quick and everything just kind of fell into place. And I think this streaming service is a really good place. It's going to be a really awesome place to live Star Wars and have. I mean, Jon Favreau's show. I can't wait to see what that's all about.
That I cannot wait for. That's going to be amazing.
It's just going to be a really, really good little platform to have. But yeah, whether they release massive films on there that need to be in the cinema, and like you say, maybe they give them a release date and then a couple of weeks later, because it's theirs, they put it on. Who knows? But I can't see it being a major push. There's so many rumours flying around the last couple of weeks because of this spin-off stuff, and it's all predicated on Solo not doing as well at the box office they wanted, and it just seems crazy.
It does. I think it's a lot of knee-jerk reactions from both the fans and just from people who like to troll. But either way, we will see. Moving on, speaking of The Last Jedi, it won 3 Saturn Awards the other night, picking up the Best Actor, Mark Hamill, Best Writer, Brien Johnson, and Best Editing, Bob Ducassi. In fact, actually, the editing was quite good on this film, given that, even with Canto Bite. And Rebels picked up the Best Animated Show, which fully deserved that. Especially the last season, the second half of last season really picked up. I know we had the first half had a couple of issues, but the second half really wrapped up towards the end. Apart from Wolves at the Door, which, as I've stated before, I really didn't like. Those 2 episodes kind of felt like a filler, even though they weren't supposed to be fillers anymore. And I still think season 3 is better than season 4, but yeah, that's nitpicking here. But yes, it picked up Best Animated Show, and well deserved. Although speaking of awards, though, the Star Wars Fan Awards are back. In fact, I remember watching some of that when we were at Star Wars Celebration 2016. It was just after the Tia Sakara interview and before I went off and got my Mark Hamill autograph.
It's nice that they're back. It's been a long time since they've had the fan awards were for fan films before previously, but it seems that they now have opened this for more subject matter. The awards are being spread out to cover a bigger area of fandom. I thought it was very
they really are this time. Yeah, we've had films before, but now they're opening up to more subjects. So I'll break it down for you. It's going to be quite a while, this one. So you've got videos long, up to 5 minutes, and short, up to 15 seconds. You've got best animation, stop motion, comedy, choreography, visual effects, audience choice, filmmaker select, and spirit of fandom. Photos. So you got best scene inspired photo, best family portrait, best throwback, original concept, funniest, pet, food presentation, best in show, audience choice. And visual art being digital art, poster art, custom costume, traditional art, 3D / physical art, custom figure, custom diorama, best in show, and audience choice. There are, there are a lot of categories this time around.
It's really nice that it's been brought into the collectors as well. So a lot of people, if you look on Facebook or Twitter, especially with the Black Series, there are so many modifications out there. People are creating characters that have not been brought, doing armors, things like that, to clones. There's a lot of people out there, and some of the photography, the action figure photography that people do, taking stormtroopers to sandy to beaches and shooting them like they're on Tatooine and desert planets. Some of the work that's done is exceptional. A lot of work. Instagram is full of people who do this stuff, and it's great. Recommend people putting out artwork, posters, alternative posters. I think these are really good things, and it's really good that it's now, as I say, it's moved on from just fan films to people who can.
Agreed. We don't know. The fan films always good. We have like the visual art side of it, but the other mediums involved. We don't get it wrong. Best food presentation, I really don't care about. But like custom costumes.
It's a shame because you've got the oven glove.
This is very true. I could probably use something involving that oven glove somewhere, I suppose. But yeah, the best like family portrait and like photo and like concepts, and even the fact they've opened up to comedy as well is interesting. So there's a lot there that wasn't there before. I mean, we had about 7 or 8 categories I think beforehand, and now we have loads.
It's going to be great, and I say it's people can get involved, and that is, I think that's what that's what it needs right now. People to get more people involved again. People are not driving away and people flocking away. We know that from Celebration; it's sold out in record time. People want to be there at this thing, and I just think it's nice for Star Wars to have something that's going to get fans involved and more fans who aren't just going to want to shoot a movie, who want to draw something, who've got other ways of expressing their art.
Indeed. Yeah, if you want to enter, the submissions are open from July 18th to September 17th. Go to StarWars.com for more information. You'll find everything you need there. I think the decisions made November 17th, and I don't know when the announcements made that there might be a celebration we get to see. They didn't release that in the press junket for that. Paul Westany, talk about Authentics earlier. His autograph styles are up there. It's £150 per autograph. Now, it's not for this to Joe's price, but it's still more than it cost me to get Mark Hamill.
For Paul Bettany autograph, now, I have 2 realms of thought on this. He is probably able to charge that because he's Vision,
yeah.
As well as appearing in 5 scenes inside the Solo movie. I don't think
this must have 3 scenes.
So yeah, it's crazy high, the prices, and yes, it's a Star Wars autograph, so yes, it's going to be higher than normal. It just happens. They know Star Wars fans are willing to pay more for autographs because we want them so badly. That's why Harrison will get what he wants. It's like £1,100 or something, but that's fine. It's Harrison. Let's leave him alone. But yeah, it's a lot of money for one person's autograph. Let's be honest, the best way to do these things are meet people. Go to premieres, go watch a premiere, go down to Leicester Square, go to where you can get to a premiere where you can get in front of a line and award services like that. There's cheaper means. But if you really want this, if you're a collector, if you've got a Da Vinci Code poster somewhere that needs his signature, probably in Whitby blood. But yeah, it's a good get, but that's too expensive for my liking.
Yeah, I always compare it to Mark Hamill because Luke Skywalker cost me $145, and by that point he'd been in 4 Star Wars films and was kind of the main character in 3 of those. So yeah, that's why I always compare it to, bring it back to, like, are you seriously saying he's going to cost me more than it cost me to get Luke Skywalker? Of course, Mark Hamill's is now more than that, and it's one of those things of buying a classic car. You buy it at the right time, and it goes up and up and up. I mean, your Christopher Lee, or Robin's Christopher Lee, that will shoot through the roof. And of course, George's poster at one point is going to be worth a lot of money. We'll just have to steal it from him and split the profit later.
It'll just be an empty area on his wall.
It's an IOU from you and me. Sorry, George, for missing out. We're planning on stealing your poster. Sorry, he won't watch the show. It'll be fun. Anyway, he say he will, but he won't. Anyway, we'll have more news. The folks at Walt Disney World have told, as we give a press junket again, how the fans will be able to get into the Galaxy's Edge exhibition from the Star Wars Hotel. It's going to go over the District Revival. They're going to go through from the car parking lot over to Hollywood Studios over the drainage canal. So they're kind of doing a bit of planning there, but the pathway will be for guests to walk over, a special entrance into the park. They'll put guests between the Falcon and the Master Escape attractions. It's going to be a lot to distract yourself from the fact you're walking over a sewage plant there. And from the plans, it appears to be limited on-site parking, which leads us to believe the hotel will feature only valet parking, which isn't ever good.
It's still going to be amazing. I have to go. And
oh god, yeah, we will go. Yeah.
They've now hit. I think there's a new trailer out for the park. I think it's fall of next year.
Oh, is it? I haven't seen that.
I've only just seen it literally about 4 minutes before we came on air. There's a trailer online you can go see, and I think it's for fall 2019. or late summer. It's along those lines that we're going to be getting the parks opening, or it says a landing date or something like that. But it's
it's probably October next year, if I was around or something like that.
It's coming. It's getting closer and closer and closer.
Indeed, and our wallets are getting better. Well, my wallet feels the service of the Force. I'll put it to you that way. Funko, a little bit of Funko news here because we do feature Pops on this channel a bit, and we talked about its decline. Well, their stock finally closed above their original pricing, which was $12. It's now $12.55 per share. So if you made an investment in Funko, it's now worth 55 cents more per share. So well done you. At least it's been able to bounce back from its decline, but I don't think they've learned their lesson yet, especially what we've seen from the SDC exclusives and the exclusives they've checked around the world. It's learning a lesson. Come back, do it properly, but hey ho.
It's share prices and things like that and stuff that doesn't interest me. But the fact they're actually turning some profit in the market after what was known as a really disastrous launch on the stock market for a company, and it's nice. But yeah, I still don't agree with the way they do
it.
Yeah, it just doesn't work for me that you get so many exclusives. Don't get me wrong, I got a few. I bought the Han Solo range of them, chewing the Han Solo.
Oh yeah, I have 14 of them.
So yeah, it's a cool thing to have. I like some of them that come out, but I just don't agree with them being as specialized with so many special editions everywhere. And the Clone Wars ones are coming.
Getting their own ones out, yeah. They're weakening their own blood on that one. Don't get me wrong. If you make everything exclusive, nothing's exclusive. And it affects the resale value, but neither here nor there. It's good to see them bouncing back slightly, but we shall see where it goes. However, that's the news. Finally, we can actually end the news and go to Star Wars. And I have something to talk about this time around. Yay! As these guys know, Star Wars is my favorite subject. It was my baby in terms of the title and everything else. I love the canon of the books, love the comics. I own out of the, I think we're now up to 247, I think it is total, including the film adaptations, book adaptations, and the IDW comics. I think I own 230 of that 247. I'm not far off, and most of the ones I don't have are the adaptations, and I will get those when I can, but I'm not too fast. However, in terms of the actual canon, yeah, I own a lot because I love Star Wars, and yes, it's a money pit, but guess what? I love it. But I get to talk about this week, and this week we have something cool. We have Star Wars issue number 50. Yes, there have been 50 issues of the main comic so far. It's been out since 2015, as far as I believe. I have every single issue that's come out of it. It's a great ride, and they are up to the Rebel Alliance fleet is now fully completed. But Vader finds out it's set between 5 and 6, and at this point it's got some really, well, I think this one's between 5 and 6 if I remember correctly. I'm trying to catch up because I'm so busy with work, but it's got some really cool dark subject matter at the moment. It's really coming on nicely. But to celebrate 50th anniversary, 50th issue, so they've got 7 variant colors coming out for it. They haven't been released yet in terms of the images, as far as I could find, but that was only because I didn't have a very little time to set this schedule up. However, as soon as I find them, I'll post them on our Facebook page, link on Twitter and Instagram stuff. But I will probably get all 7 just to have a complete collection. I remember when they did the 50th anniversary of Spider-Man, I've got the complete collection of their variant comics, just because these things are really nice and simple done. The one I've seen of Kira in a really nice, simple blue and black, that looked really cool. But there's a lot to it, and I'm looking forward to reading it. Now we get on to the nitty-gritty part of the one issue that's bugging me is so we have Throne Alliances coming out. This is a book I will be getting. However, they released the SDCC covers, and my god, they're pretty. So you've got your standard cover, which is Vader and Thrawn in his Grand Admiral's uniform, Vader being Vader, and then they've released a really, really, really pretty version, alternate cover with a dark side Anakin and Thrawn in some kind of combat gear, and it looks really nice. However, to get that, and it's signed, and you get a Grand Admiral Thrawn pin, a full-on official pin, is $45. It's signed by Timothy Zahn. It comes with a tote bag. I think $45 is a really, really good price for that little bundle. And there's also another version, exclusive audiobook version, also priced at $45. That includes a conversation between Timothy Zahn and the narrator, Mark Thompson, which is on a USB flash drive. It's got a collector's tin, featuring the same artwork as you get on the SDCC covered, and again, a numbered card signed by the author, because of course you can't sign the book this time. Again, $45, $90 for the pair, and you know what? The scalpers weren't so terrible. I would totally buy it, because $45, if you get it retail, that is a cracking price for those two bits.
It's great. I mean, the cover variant for the SDCC, Anakin in his Clone Wars gear and Thrawn in his combat armor is hinted at in the first Thrawn novel, that they've met and worked together at some point. To now see, obviously, this is going to play a major part of the backstory in this next novel of why they came together. I'm guessing it'll probably get fully explained. We'll get a full explanation of where it was in the timeline. But yeah, it is a nice cover. Anakin's head is a George's spot. It doesn't look a little bit out. They've tried to pose him exactly as the Vader poses on the official release cover, and it does look a little bit off, but it's still a really nice cover. The artwork they've done for Anakin it's Hayden Christensen in the Clone Wars outfit, so I really like it as well. And if even if I could maybe just get the slipcover at some point, I think I might go ahead and try and get a hold of that.
Indeed, I mean, the one alternate cover I do have for the Star Wars books is I have the Star Wars Aftermath Life Debt. I have the Star Wars Celebration 2016 version of that. That's the only alternate cover I have. But that's still a stunning one. But this I want. This I really want. In fact, even Chris James commented in our chat below again. Thank you for commenting tonight, Chris. Saying that that's why he's gone for the audiobook version. So, depending what you paid for it, fair play. Your wallet is your wallet. But I feel if I could get the hardback version, I would all day long. I love hardback versions of books anyway because they last longer. They have that nice smell. They're just that. It's a quality item, but for the want of being there. Anyway, toy shelf. We have a lot of toy shelf this week, and that's all thanks to SDCC. Comic Cons. It should not be called Comic Con. It should be called just Shopping Con, because that's mainly what you do. But yes, so we've had a lot of SDCC exclusives. I'm going to try and run down through you fairly quickly. So we've had Hallmark have released their Bosch and Han and Carbonite pins. I actually quite like those. They've got a Lando and Lobot ornament set. Gentle Giant have released their Boba Fett 12-inch, their Yoda Macquarie mini bust, and the Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi mini bust with a light-up lightsaber, which I really, really want. I seriously want that. It's not on their sale currently, but I'll get onto that later. Hasbro. Now, again, speaking of things that are from SDCC that I really want, Hasbro are releasing a Dr. Aphra comic set triple pack. I don't know if we covered this last time, or this is kind of in between the two, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself here. But I love Dr. Aphra as it is. I think it's a great set, great comic set, sorry. I love the character. I think she's a fantastic addition to the canon. And the two droids she travels with being BT-1 and 000. 000, who's designed for protocol, etiquette, and torture. And you have BT-1, who is a blaster mech. And it's insane, and I love them. They were Vaders, they were Aphra at the back. Yes, all of the yes. If you've ever seen the original comic back they did back in the day, it's a mimicry of that, so a new version of that, and yeah, oh my god, I want it. I so want it. And then on the other side, they've done a Black Series Rey versus Ren on Starkiller Base centerpiece. I like it. The only issue is they haven't done the new digital painting on the figures. They've just repurposed the old figures, and it totally brings the quality down because the new digital painting is just that step up. I mean, both Dave and I have the Rex. We've got the Thrawn as well, and it's that step up. You just notice it when you put it alongside other figures. It just you see it from a distance, but when you put it alongside, it's just a whole new level. I
mean, if that Starkiller set, especially, I actually quite like the Rey in it and her side, but the Kylo looks right. It just doesn't look right because they haven't used the digital paint. They just repurposed the Kylo Ren on Starkiller base figure, but put the even like a bigger mark on his face, and it just doesn't quite look right. The digital paint on all these figures now that are coming out are superb. If you just in any shop and see the Han Solo range that's out, the Admiral Piet that's just come out is just stunning. There's a Bespin Han Solo coming out, and it's young Harrison Ford. It is his head. It is so good. The Black Series are going to get better and better now, I think, as the line goes on, because they've got the digital paint. Please just go out there and give me £5 a head. I'll buy new heads to repurpose. To get my other figures looking cool.
Oh, for sure. I again completely agree with that. Yes, that's got a repurpose one, but the basic's cool. And the one I want is Vader on the Tantive V4. That looks amazing. If I can ever find that, I will be getting that for my collection personally. So we've got the Funko Pops, which we discussed last time, which of course has Thrawn and but that's the Clone Wars side. You have Cad Bane in there. The Clone Troopers and Anakin things. It is Cad Bane. We want Cad Bane all the way along. And he's the SDCC exclusive, annoyingly. Hot Toys released their Dark Side Anakin. Hot Toys, as you know, do incredible miniatures, incredible figures. Really well painted, really well done. I like the look of that. Hot Wheels done a...
Sorry, the only thing with the Dark Side Anakin is they've already released Episode 3 Anakin. And now that's really sort of a double dip if you want them to have an angrier face. with the yellow eyes.
They have the yellow eyes. So
yeah. So it's like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's a little let's go kill younglings vibe on that one. Yeah, you either have sand or you have kill younglings. Either way, you're screwed. So we've got the Hot Wheels Porg Battle Wagon. Again, I've got the Macquarie Boba Fett one from when I went Celebration. That was because that was 15 quid. I like the look of it. Got it signed by the designer. I'm not too fussed about those, but they are nice collectibles, so if people collect those, completely understand that. And then Bandai are bringing their B-Wing to SDCC to release it there first. I have a couple of Bandai kits, and they are stunning, and you can start to get them in the UK, but you can't sell them in the UK for licensing issues. It's a tricky way around it. Look at Tokyo Model Detective on Facebook if you want to find and get some of the Bandai figures here in the UK for actually decent prices. You're paying the retail, you're paying the shipping, but he doesn't charge much over that. It's really good service. So Tokyo Model Detective on Facebook if you can. Lego. I'm going to let Dave talk through the Lego because there's a lot of Lego here.
There's a lot of Lego coming, and these are sets that have kind of been... We knew they were kind of coming. There's been leaked images everywhere for a long time. But we have some really cool ones coming out with it as well. The real one that really interests me is Snoke's Throne Room. It kind of interests me, but at the same time, it's missing a lot. We needed a wall of red bricks in that set just to sit behind, but it's quite an open set. There's not a lot to it thrown. I mean, these are your typical 20, 25 pound sets here in the UK that are coming out. So you've got the Hoth Medical Chamber with Luke inside the Bacta tank, I believe. We've got Anakin's Jedi Starfighter. Snoke's Throne Room, another X-Wing Starfighter. We have another Sandcrawler coming out. Now, we've had Sandcrawlers before. I know, Phil, you've got...
I have the UCS Sandcrawler.
Big Sandcrawler. So I don't know if this is... To be honest, I haven't seen the artwork for the Sandcrawler.
It is smaller. It's not... I mean, you get the same minifigures, but it's not as intricate. I think it's about a tenth smaller or something like that. It's a little less of the UCS, which UCS is incredible. We all know the UCS series is just stunning, but yeah.
And then finally, we've got the Imperial Landing Craft as well. So we've got a lot coming out in Lego, and Lego is what it is. It's either going to be crazy months up with the little sets. As I say, sometimes they're getting a little less impressive because they like to push them out for a little price you can buy. You don't kind of get everything you want in them, but there's
a lot of reissues recently, and it's kind of...
Yeah, a lot of reissues of the same thing. We must have had Jabba's gift card thing about 4 times now. And the land speed in Lego getting a little bit 2 bricks different, 3 bricks different. So, but you know what? I love Lego. I absolutely adore it. I would never dismiss what they do. You can build that. You can throw the bricks all together. You have.
However, talking of Lego and something that Dave will hate because his wallet will go down there immediately. The UCS Falcon is now coming to Smiths, which is a UK toy stock. So I don't know where they are around the world or where they are known globally. However, UCS Falcon is coming.
It is. It's actually back in the Lego store now as well. It's on the shelf. You can go pick it up. Now, the good thing with Smiths have sales.
Yeah,
and they don't. They don't not have them on the Lego. The Lego still sometimes comes in the sale. So this might be a chance for people who thought, can't justify £650 on a Millennium Falcon. I could totally justify it. My wife feels differently, but I could justify it to myself as why I could spend that much money on it. This might be a chance to maybe even, you're getting 40, £50 off it. It could bring that to a much better deal. And bring it on. The fact that Smiths are getting it is a really good thing. It's a really good toy shop here in the UK, and they always have great sets and loads of Lego in. So I'm looking forward to that coming down, and just to see if the price does change.
I still don't see your wife listening. You get it, but good luck. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. However, speaking of sales, and something that's bugging me because, God, I want some of the stuff on there. Gentle Giant are having a sale at the moment. It's their 4th of July sale. Of course, big holiday over in America for some reason because we let them have some fun. But yes, so it ends at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I've got a couple of things, well, at least one thing in my basket. And I'm just trying not to pull the trigger, but I probably will, and I'll let you know next time if I do and what I got. But for now, trust me, there's still a couple of things I'm looking at. For example, the Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader mini bust that was $80 is now $48, and when you have that with shipping, it comes out to less than it is just buying the figure without the sale. And that's just one example. There's a load more on there. I haven't looked too much into it just because my wallet will start to hurt, and I will probably end up buying something from this, which I don't know how my girlfriend will feel about this, but we'll see. We'll cross the bridge when we come to it. I bought enough things to do this. Fine, it's fine. Anyway, unfortunately, now we must go back to the depressing side of our news and games, and we have to talk about EA and Battlefront 2, and EA in general.
Take it away. They brought out
EA give us and EA take it away.
Yeah, it really is as well. I mean, they try to think there's something new coming out, and they kind of pen you something that this is coming, and this is coming. You can't have it yet, and it's going to cost this much when it does. And I think it just needs to end now. Do you want to fill them in on what's going on?
So, the update timeline has been revealed. The Clone Wars appearances, which is something we all want, and I dearly hope that you don't have to save up too much in-game credits to buy. I don't want to spend actual money on this. The Clone Wars is coming in 4 separate parts between July and winter. You get July, August, fall, and winter on their release schedule. The Starship Hero battles the first up, along with some Clone Wars stuff. And the problem is they are drip feeding the Clone Wars, and I know why. It's to keep the fans playing the game, and the problem is they have to keep the fans playing the game because unfortunately they have screwed up so much that they are losing fans left, right, and centre. Well, they're not even fans anymore; they're just players, and they're losing them left, right, and centre. I mean, every week you used to get these best play of the week videos, and those have disappeared for some reason. You wonder why. Unfortunately, EA, they were given the golden goose of license fees. It's a license to print money. Dave and I know this for sure. I mean, and George as well. We are like nerds, shooting nerds in a barrel. Trust me, we will buy stuff. We love Star Wars, and we will save up, and we will defy our other halves, and we will buy them anyway. And it's just what we do. But when you take advantage of that, and when you go, here is the golden goose, and you turn that golden egg into a rotten egg, it just stinks. And unfortunately, that's what they've managed to do with Battlefront 2. And Battlefront was a game that we all wanted. The first one, yeah, the SHS one, you get it right. The second one, you should have everything fixed by now. The problem is they're having to reintroduce stuff they had in Battlefront 1 as a new idea for Battlefront 2, and it's just not working. And oh, here are your new game modes that you can't really have because they go after like 2 months, and then you don't have fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Ewok one was fun. I played it once. And that's because it's like, well, it's going to go soon, and it has already gone. I mean, it was terrible anyway, because, of course, when you were a Stormtrooper, it was dark, and when you were an Ewok, it was light. It made no sense. Like, it legitimately made absolutely no sense. It was just insane. And, yeah, to see... George has gone on rants, I've gone on rants, Dave can go on rants about it, but to see them release these in 4 parts is just not fun. And unfortunately, they've also closed the doors on his Visceral Game Studio back in October last year, resulting in the unfinished Star Wars title they had on that being placed in limbo, and they pulled the plug on it. And they've pulled the plug on that game completely. They're possibly developing a new online open world game. They have with BioWare, which is another subdivision, they have the Old Republic Online, but they're not giving us what they want. They're just giving us things they think we want and think we'll pay or do anyway. It's terrible.
It's really not. I've got no patience left for the year. I've got no faith that they know what they're going to do next. I've got no faith that they're going to bring us what we want
You
next.
know a company is messing up when their best product is a mobile phone game.
Yeah, it's just, I don't understand.
Cancel games with Galaxy of Heroes are nailing it, and it's
don't know how you can get a game where you have Star Wars characters running around Star Wars worlds fighting wrong.
Yeah.
I don't get it how you do that. And you're right, they have this license to print money that should have been the biggest game in the world, and it fell off a cliff so quickly because it wasn't what they promised.
When you have the actual Star Wars cast, as in John Boyega, going, where's our single player mode? And then you screw that up. Come on, I mean,
it's not good. It's not good.
No, the equivalent is it's a kick back to goal and you miss it and it goes in. As I'm not a fan of British football. I must admit, I do watch England games, but they will know exactly what I'm referencing there. Yeah. It's just try not to score an own goal. You score an own goal, and it's ridiculous.
It's crazy, but I said, you know what? We've talked about it at length and ad nauseum about how disappointed this game is. And it doesn't get any better with every announcement. It feels it's like it gets worse.
Well,
it's
EA giveth and EA taketh away. They go, here, have shiny new things, and then we're not going to give them to you.
Just insane. EA.
Yeah. Well, what can you say? However, we should go on to our lights note and finish the evening because we have managed to actually somehow get through all this news in a decent time. I thought it would take a bit longer than I think we just managed to kind of bash all the way through because there was a lot to chew through. With our traditional ending Cantina talks, this time I'm going to talk about a favourite Star Wars product line you either have, or you'd like to have, or like to complete. And I'm going to let Dave, you go first on this one.
This one, actually, when we mentioned it, it didn't take me long to kind of decide that, yeah, I knew exactly what I was going to have. I currently am about just shy of, just over halfway in the original vintage Kenner figures, all unboxed because I don't have any real money. So they are loose figures, but I have literally I've got a book that has the order that were released in, and I'm going through it every couple of months. I go out and I buy another one and collect that, and the collection's building and building, and that is the first thing I want to complete. That is my first, would be my first thing in Star Wars that I've actually collected and literally had a complete collection of. So the Kenner figures mean so much. The first figure I was ever given was the TIE Fighter pilot by my dad, and Phil mentioned earlier the smell of the books, and I was like, ha, smells of things. The smell of that figure, still, I can still right now, and I was...
It takes you right back there.
Yeah, I smell the figure, like, fresh out, it takes me right back, and it's a beautiful, nostalgic thing, and that's really why I do it. And the only thing with the Kenner collections, they're not too bad, to be honest. Buying them loose, up to where I am, is great. When you start getting to sort of the back end of the figures, sort of, well, definitely what they call the last 21 figures that were released, you're looking at £200-300 for some single. The R2D2 with removable lightsaber, green lightsaber that came out, is you're looking around about £250-300 for
Is that loose or is that sealed?
Loose.
Yeah. So I have the 78 R2, the original one, and that costs.
Yeah, I've got that one as well, and that one and the Sensor one. But to get the next one, the last one they released, is just the last 17.
There's literally no difference apart from the lightsaber.
It's just like 300. You know, that lightsaber that comes out of his head, that you can pay £50-60 for, and that's literally a bit of green plastic. It just gets nuts when you get towards the back 17 of these figures. So I'll get there eventually, but that is my sole love and want of my collection, and then I'll move on to the Black Series.
Indeed, mine is a more recent obsession. I have to admit this. It's a line that I've been looking at for many, many years. So I've been chatting with the guys about quite recently. So 11 years ago, Star Wars was celebrating its 30th anniversary. You know, it was in the gap between At that point, Revenge of the Sith had finished. We hadn't yet had the Clone Wars movie. We were in a lull. People's love for Star Wars was falling. Both mine and Dave's. At that point, we're just in a way of what was next? There was nothing. It seemed a bleak horizon. So a lot of people's interest dropped off. But in that time, they released their 30th anniversary figures, and in that line, a lot of figures are quite cool. You have people like General McQuarrie. You have Vader, but you have Vader then being shocked by Palpatine. Then you have Vader with like the battle damage from the Force Unleashed. You have the Force Unleashed Galen Marek as well. You had this wonderful line of figures come out, but within that line, now this is where my bit steps in. You have the Ralph McQuarrie signature concept series. It's 12 figures in total, 3 Celebration exclusives, 3 regular. I actually have the list because I'm currently going through them, buying them myself, because the Ralph McQuarrie artwork is something that's fascinated me for years. I do own a Ralph McQuarrie print from Empire Strikes Back of Vader on the bridge of his Super Star Destroyer, and it's something that I do genuinely love. It's something that I'll try and find my list on here. It is something that is it's something that's fascinating for years. So when I finally did these figures, I started to research them, and I've ended up so far bought 4. So I bought the Force the collection. I need to re-buy Chewbacca because unfortunately I found out this when it came it was already kind of half open. I'm trying to get these sealed because I like unboxing things. I do. I genuinely love unboxing and how to play with them, putting the cabinet loose. As you said, Dave, getting them loose is fine. There's no issue there. I generally unbox them. I don't judge anyone who does box them, but equally I don't judge anyone who keeps them boxed. That's your thing. That's your thing. With these, because you have the original McQuarrie artwork behind it as well as the figure, I'd like to keep it boxed because it actually blends and has this really nice look to it. Where you have this original artwork, you get the 30th anniversary, and you have Ralph McQuarrie's signature on it as well. So to have that as a full box is really nice. So they've done Darth Vader, they've done Chewbacca, they've done Han, they've done Starkiller, Rebel Trooper, Stormtrooper, Boba Fett, Snowtrooper, and General Grievous. Starkiller is the interesting one because I was chatting to my friend who said, "Where's Leia?" Well, Starkiller hit with the original hero was a female. That was Leia kind of ish to begin with, so that's why there's no Leia there because she wasn't in the original concept line. General Grievous though is an interesting one because Ralph McQuarrie, although he hadn't passed away at that point, wasn't involved in the prequels. So the General Grievous one is the odd one out there, but he's in there because that was kind of a little nod to him. So they took a figure at that point, a character which we do love, with General Grievous, and did a slight twist on him to make him a McQuarrie style. And then you had the exclusives, and I only have 2 out of the 3 here, which is the Star Wars Celebration Europe Luke Skywalker. I've got that today, which actually it's like in properly mint. I sent a picture to Dave. So the guys in it. It's a properly mint condition. It's still in its clamshell from when you bought it. It's not even the packaging. It's in a clamshell and the packaging. It's even got the barcode still on the back and the sticker on the front. It's immaculate condition. And I've got the R2-D2 and C-3PO Celebration 4 pack coming as well. And then the last one I need is the SDCC Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda figures, which I would quite like those. But yeah, so there's only 12 figures in this line. There's a couple of variants because you can get 4, I think it is, gold versions of I think it's the Snowtrooper, the Stormtrooper, Chewbacca, I think Vader, I'm not sure. But they're a gold like Galactic Hunt version. Those got from the 8 to 18 quid that I'm paying now, so really quite cheap, to 50 quid. There's quite a massive jump. However, as I said, for me, the McQuarrie line was just this wonderful little tribute to Ralph McQuarrie before he passed away, but a line of figures that just show you where Star Wars originated from. And actually, it was a time before Star Wars Rebels, so you can see where the original Chewbacca evolved into Zeb. You can see how the original R2 evolved into Chopper, and how the original 3PO became an early protocol droid that you had in Rebels. There's so many lineages between the two that it's incredible. And I really love the artwork. And Vader, of course, you have that incredible, more snout-nosed helmet they had the first time around that just, for me, is so evocative of that artwork and of that time. And of course, the Stormtrooper, Riot Shield and Lightsaber. What do we have now? First Stormtrooper with a Riot Shield and a baton, which is a Force weapon. It's come full circle. I really like it. So for me, that's my kind of Grail collection. It's like I wanted for a few years, but I'm finally starting to get there. So yeah, I mean that's for me my personal line I'm trying to complete at the moment. But I mean, there's always things. In the Black Series, I've got a few things like that, but that's my limited line I want to get them on.
Awesome.
Indeed, it's one of those things that, yeah, with these little Cantina talks, it's funny because it's like that we started just that, we need to find out what episode it's kind of got a nice little tradition, nice little end to the show, nice little, not ending on a light note, especially with the darkness we have to deal with the Amethyst and things like that. So it's nice. So nice to end the show on a light note there. I don't think there's anything else to add. Dave, you got anything else you want to put in?
No, I think we've chatted everything that's out there at the moment. So let's roll on and see what we get in the next 2 weeks.
Indeed. So, yes, we should join you then. Hopefully, George will be with us, but we can't promise you that because he'll probably be off doing something or somewhere we alone. So, from myself, from Dave, from Absent, it's good night from us.
Yeah, really, just before we do go, I do want to just say a massive thank you. People who've been online tonight with us, watching us live, and those who've been commenting in the comments section, thank you so much. It's really appreciated. Every like, listen, follow, watch, view, subscription is great to us. We love it, all that's coming in. And it makes this worthwhile that there are people out there who do enjoy what we do. So really just a massive thank you from us all at Ones with the Force. We do appreciate everything that you're doing for us, guys.
Indeed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Ones with the Force. You can find us on SoundCloud and iTunes if you wish to download the episode and listen to it audio. You can find us here on YouTube, of course. Don't forget to leave a comment. You're more than welcome to. We'll always chat and bring them up on the show. But yeah, we want to the Force. May the Force always be with you. Good night.